Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You're at the spot, the place, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You're back at the spot, the place, the location, where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. We are visiting today with Jyl Purington. We're going to talk about reinventing ourselves after 60. It's possible. Can you believe that? Oh, yes. Let me tell you, 60-year-olds are living their best life. If they can get through the aches and pains, if they can get their medication regulated, they are doing it. You're not dead. You know, society deems you, especially as a woman, after 40 as this life is over. That is when my libido kicked in and I found myself the sexiest after 40. In my 60s, I became unapologetic, not disrespectful, but unapologetic. I realized the importance and I knew that I had more time behind me than I did in front of me. So I'm going to live my best life. And you know what Jyl did? She reinvented herself. And now she is a glowing 72, looking fabulous, being able to take care of her mom, still live her life, and living and leading with a purpose. Let's bring it to the show. How you doing, Jyl?
I am fantastic and I'm so excited to be here. I've got goosebumps.
Well, this is going to be a great conversation because, again, you know, people think that we're supposed to be dead in the grave somewhere, rocking in a rocking chair, no conversation, no interaction. That's not what's happening for senior citizens. Tell us a little bit about you, your story, your journey, and what all this has cost you and bought you.
Thank you so much, April. And again, I'm so thrilled to be here with you. I was born. No, you don't want to start there.
Sure, why
I,
not?
Before my new journey, I was in our family business and I'd been there for many years. And I wanted to retire because my dad had passed away and I wanted to be with my mom. And I was doing an online company and I felt real comfortable with that. So I just retired from our family business, moved in with my mom. And 6 months later, that business went out of business. And so it took me 4 years after that to finally find a new home and to start working on me and what I was going to do. And I've been so blessed. I had a very good friend that gave me a call and she said, "Hey, I think I have found what we're looking for here." And I said, "Okay, let's give it a shot." And I didn't do it fast.
Mm.
I slow to start with, which I don't really recommend because they always say when you do it faster, it's better. But it took about 5 months into the business for me to get a phone call from a gentleman who was at the highest level of our company. And he didn't tell me anything different than my friend Lisa had not told me, but he was a man and he reminded me of my dad. And
Mm.
my business partner, my friend, my mentor. And when he told me that he thought I could do this and how I should be doing this, I ran with it. And I never looked back. And I'm just so thrilled that I got that call. But what I'm more happy about is that I'm with a company that really has purpose. They absolutely love us. They provide us with the best products and they allow us to grow in so many ways into a place where I'm able to be here with my 93-year-old mom. We call her Coco, take care of her, and yet I'm still working from home. I'm earning a really lucrative paycheck. I qualify for trips, I qualify for cruises. So I am enjoying life working from home at the age of 72, and I love it.
It was the trust factor. It's passing the sniff test. It's the know, like, and trust. That's with any and everything. Okay, because I tell people, I tell you a million times, I'm not very trusting. Oh no. You got to earn it with me. You don't get 100% from the get-go. You got to ratchet up, ratchet down. Same for me. But that is my boundary. That is my filter. That is my fear. And fear is installed in us as a gauge, as a monitor to say, whoop, beep, 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 warning. I had a little kink in my hip and we were in Aruba And I said, I've never tried one of these. I'm going to try one of these motorized scooters. And the store was packed. And I'm beep, 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 beep. And people are looking at me like this woman is crazy. But I tell you, that's like life. It will run you over, but you need to know when to sit your butt down, too.
I love it.
And you look at senior citizens, and I say senior citizens because that is a gift, that is a blessing to say that you are in that. There's people now that's not getting past 20,
You're right.
25. And if they are, they just, they don't have it. And if you are at a particular age and you still have some sort of mobility, what do you do to keep yourself active? I know that running around taking care of your mother is not easy. I took care of my mother as well. But what do you do to keep yourself physically fit?
Every single morning, 6 days a week, I am up and I'm walking a minimum of 2.5 miles every single morning just to get my day started. I also am very blessed. We have an indoor swimming pool and I love it. It's 93 degrees. So it's good for swimming, it's good for working out. And also, you can't see it, but here I have a workout room. I have my rower, I have my weights, I have everything I need so that I can be home for my mom whenever she needs me, and yet I can still take care of myself. And I do feel that's really, really important. And I think we need to realize that. And I wish I would have realized it at a younger age, the importance of working out and building muscle and having that strength, because you said it, you were in Aruba. I want to go places. I don't want to be staying home all the time. I love it when I get an opportunity to have somebody come in and take care of mom and I'm gone. And I want to do things while I'm doing that. I have to take care of myself and I have to take care of my body. So that's really important to me.
Well, and take care of your mental health, not get stressed out, not overthink stuff, not let people influence you and say whatever they want to say. You can't just say whatever you want to say to Mrs. Mahoney. I'm gonna look at you with a side eye. I have learned in this climate, okay, that you don't have to pop off when somebody says something you don't like. You just look at them with that side eye, like I know you're not talking to me. Are you crazy? And go on about your business. At a certain age, you don't have to be combative anymore. There's no use. You just want to live your life in harmony and peace. And it seems like you live in paradise. Because Brain, she took me on a little tour of the house. She living in a mansion. That indoor swimming pool and all of that. I get it. I get it. So you and Coco are doing really well.
We
Now,
are.
when you decided to pivot into going back to generating some income, what was your aha moment? I mean, you had 4 years to just kind of say, well, you know what? I'm retired. I don't want to do anything. Did you want to stay active? Did you need additional income? Did you need to
Oh,
keep your mind sharp? What was the reasoning for it?
I needed the income. As I had said, I worked for our family business. And anybody that is in a family business knows there's not a lot in family business. Even if you're making good money while you're in the family business, there's not a lot of retirement. Just don't have those kind of things because it's all about the business. And so when I did have to go back to work, it was because I had to go back to work. In fact, I was feeling really bad because here I am supposed to be taking care of my mom and she's practically taking care of me. Thank God I had a roof over my head. I don't know where I would have been. So I did it because I needed the money. And not only that, I can't imagine not working. Even with all the money I would ever want, I don't think I could not work because I really enjoy and I enjoy what I do because I get to be around more people. And sometimes it's just on the phone, it's on Zooms because I don't get to leave the house a lot because of my mom. But I'm active with people on Zooms and over the telephone and that kind of thing. And that's what I think keeps us young. I
Right.
can't imagine not doing that.
Well, talking about the extra income, okay. I had an uncle that was 80 and he had to go back to work. That broke my heart. He he had to. The cost of living, the cost of his medication, the little social security that he was getting, the pension that he was getting was being taxed. It was just one thing after another. And he was going to work Jyl with dementia. I don't even know how he got to work.
It's
He
not
got
hard.
back. And so I say that to say this is that younger people in your 40s, the way that things are going, you better get yourself together. You better tuck something away. You better learn about different types of currency, world currency. You should always have a side hustle. I never depended on a corporate job.
Yes.
I have went to corporate jobs and walked in and they said, "We really value you. Here's your pink slip."
Mm-hmm.
No
All the
preparation.
time.
Yeah, they want me to give you a 2 week notice, but you gave me a 20-second notice that to clean out my desk. We have to be strategic about what we do, and we need to live below our means.
We do.
Below your means. You think that you're rich, and everybody wants to wear their opulence. They want to wear their diamonds. They want to wear the designer bag. They want to go get nipped and tucked. They want to do all this kind of stuff. For what?
Yeah.
For what? But everybody's different. You got to appreciate that. Me and you were
True.
talking in the green room about senior citizens now. They are living on cruise ships
Yes.
and,
I'm
and
okay.
in hotels. And in hotels. I got
Yeah.
a girlfriend right now. She says she would do anything. She would sell her house tomorrow and go live in a hotel. Your room is clean. You're there by yourself. You got meals. There's medical assistance if you need it. You've got friends. There are so many people too, Jyl, that don't have anybody to care for them.
I know. And that's
Nobody. That's why me and you got our wings. I know it. To be able to it's a blessing to take care of your parent in their 90s.
yes. Yes.
It's tough.
She has still so much to even teach me. There are things that she does that I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So I learn something from her often. And she still has a really good sense of humor. And she's very kind. And everybody loves my mom. She's a very well loved lady. So it is a joy and it is an honor. It's not fun. I mean, it's not always fun. There's some real tough times,
Of
some real
course, it's
tough
tough
times.
times.
But it's always worth it. It's very
When
well
they
worth
when they switch into that alter ego, because boy, my mother could be mean and that tongue could be a switchblade. And I'm like, what happened to you? I'm just fed up. She said, I'm just tired.
it.
And I would say, Mom, but I don't want you to pass on. She said, April, what if I was the last person here? What if I lived forever? Wouldn't that be horrible? She says, I want to go get my seat next to the master on the throne. I have lived a full life. I don't have any regrets. I'm tired.
Yep.
And so we talk about transitioning because I don't know what your religious, if there's a religious affiliation, but I know that this is not the end for me.
Oh
I know
no.
that I'm going on to glory.
Yes.
And but the preparation for that is being the best possible person that you can be right now. And that's leading with purpose. Tell us a little bit about leading with purpose.
Leading with purpose to me really means, well, I'm going to put it to you this way. Our company has a vision. Our vision of our company is to help others so they can reach their goals. And when you help others reach goals, you will always take care of yourself. And that's kind of how I have based my life for about the last 10 years, last 9.5 years that I've been here. Because what I have learned is that what I have is value. It's value to other people that don't know what I've gone through and what life brings us and life teaches us. And so if I'm able to share not only just business, but other things in life, about life with others, if that can help them, if that can change something in their life to make it better, it's going to take care of me. And so I just think leading in purpose with purpose means that you get up every day and the first thing you want to do is you want to thank the good Lord for another day that you're here. And then go out there and be, just like you said, the best version of yourself, but always keeping in mind, who can I help next?
Right. Because we have to pay it forward.
We do.
And I tell people when your cup is full, you don't go get another cup. You pour into somebody else's cup.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to put that. I love that. Ooh, I'm going to have to steal that one.
That's good. No, people want to go get the other cup. They want to get a straw. They want to do all that kind of stuff. There's only so much that we can hold in our life container.
Absolutely.
Um, and so working with a team, tell me a little bit about building a team and what that looks like for you.
When I first started, I was a little concerned about that because when I worked in my family business, each one of us were commissioned salesmen and we had to go out and do our thing and take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very, very proud of my father for setting it up that way because he knew when I came into the company, my brothers thought because I was one, a female, I shouldn't make as much money as they. And also because, yeah, you know that what I'm talking about. Because they had children. I've never had children. They needed more money to take care of their family. So my dad said, okay, everybody's commission basis. You go out and do your job, you make your own money. And that's what I was used to. And by the way, I was very successful with what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But building a team would means that I'm going to have to be responsible for the training, for the building, and for also giving them the information so they can go out and do what I just did.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I found out I worked in a man's world, and I found out when I'm working with women, it's way different, but it's way more rewarding because we have such high expectations of what we want and what we expect from others, and we can help them find that. So building a team is like one person here, and we all come together and it just makes the whole thing work. Now, is it easy? No. We have lots of struggles anytime that we are building and working, especially with women, because women are emotional and there's things, but there's so much joy in it. So teaching from the beginning of what they can achieve and having them do exactly the same thing with the way the company expects us to do it. And you just keep doing it over and over and over again until it just builds into something huge and beautiful. Now, does it always stay that way? No. I helped build a very, very large team. And the one lady that I helped, and I'm so proud of her, she's gone out and just done amazing things. And that's another thing I love about our company is that, a lot of companies, you help somebody build and they go away and you lose because you got to start all over again. That is not the way that it is with the company that I'm with. And so I was able to see her go out and build a huge business. She's 17 years younger than I am. She has a lot more energy. I got a lot of energy, but she's got a lot more energy.
Right.
So she's outgrowing with other people, and now I'm building with some new people. And so we just go back and start doing exactly what we started with in the beginning, and we just keep growing and growing. So I think that you have to build with purpose, and you have to build with love. And
But
if
you
you can,
also have to include a few other things in that recipe. You got to have integrity. You,
oh,
you have to have integrity and your intention. What is the intention? Whatever the intention is it to make money? Is it to grow a team? Is it to network? Is it to break off and to do something else? It's all right as long as you are true to that. You have to have inspiration and you have to be supportive.
absolutely.
It's not just about you. When you have a team, you have to pull everyone in. Everybody brings something to the table if it's nothing but the coffee.
That's right.
Everybody brings something to the table and reward and recognize and acknowledge that. The little things. I was telling my doctor today. I went to the doctor and I got all my test results and everything was really good. I was really happy. And I was reading his report and it was dry. So he says, well, we want to come in, I want to talk a little bit more. So I went in and I said, you know what you could do? I said, at the end of your report, you could give us some encouragement. You could say, April, your numbers look really good. Keep up the good work. I said, you could say, hey, Jyl, I'm seeing that you might be struggling with your cholesterol. Let's talk about it when you come in. Put a little personal oomph into it. Do you remember when your teacher used to say, oh, Jyl, come give me a hug. You got an A. There was nothing better in the world
Nothing.
Nothing better in the world. When your lover or spouse looks at you and says, "Thank you, baby, I love you," there's nothing better in the world. So to acknowledge people and let them know incrementally along the way, hey, there may be a struggle, but the struggle is real.
Absolutely. And it's so important when they are struggling that you let them know that
Yes.
you've gone through those struggles and you're here to help them through those struggles. But you said something just a little while ago that was really important, and that was know, like, and trust. And
That's,
that's even with the people that you work with,
that's
because
right.
you have to make sure that they know you're coming from a good place and that you're here to help them every step of the way. And I
Well,
think that's huge.
actually, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna throw a little salt in that because sometimes people don't come with the best intentions, or they come from a sneaky position. But if you know who you're dealing with, that's why I say the trust to me, trust is contingent on something else. I trust you if you do XYZ. I trust you if you give XYZ. I trust you if you tell me XYZ. Well, I do a little thing when I interview people. Um, when in the corporate world, I would ask them, if you were an animal, what animal would you be and why? One woman told me that she would be a snake. I know. And I sat up in my chair and I said, really? Tell me why. She says, because I go in low. I know how to strike. I shed what I don't need. I can devour what I need to devour in one gulp. And then I know how to slither my way out. I gave her the job because
That's,
sometimes, Jill, you need a snake.
yeah, when you put it that way.
And I say that because I was careful with what I told her. I was careful where I positioned her. But sometimes you got to go in and have that snake go grab that gopher.
Yeah, all right, you're right. You
So,
kind of scared me with that, but you're right.
but if people tell you, Maya Angelou said it, if they tell you who they are and show you who they are, you better believe them.
Yep.
And that's not to say that she was a lovely lady, but I always in the back of my mind knew that she identified and recognized herself. But also the snake is a sign of a new beginning and
Oh, that's
shedding.
yeah.
So, we can't overthink things too much. So even with that, but if you see a snake, know that it is a snake. And you always kind of have to be on guard, and you've always got to leave a little bit for yourself. Be that in a loving relationship, be that with a friendship, be that with a business partner. I've been married 41 years to Mr. Magnificent, and I tell him to this day, I leave about that much more for me. You got to have a reserve, right?
Yes.
If you could restructure your finances, knowing what you know now, what would have been some of the things that you would have probably done differently?
I would have put a lot more money away into things that would create more money for me
Mm.
instead of enjoying life so much as a young person. And I did. I've traveled the world. I'm very, very blessed to have traveled the world. I probably shouldn't have traveled the world so young.
Really?
Well, I mean, it was fun. It was great. But again, when I turned 60 years old and, left my family business and didn't have a good enough retirement, here I am working to 72. And not that I don't enjoy, and I love what I do, and I'm glad I do. But there's two ways of looking at it. I just think I should have learned how to make money with saving money. Not just putting in a savings account. I'm talking about making money with
Right,
your.
right.
And so I didn't learn enough about that. But also I can look and say, hey, I've traveled the world. Now when I make money, I can make sure I'm doing that I'm
Right,
making money with my money. Multiple streams of income is
right.
really, really important. And I didn't know that when I was younger. And
Well,
so
I was
I,
very fortunate to grow up in South Central Los Angeles, an African American young girl, growing up with a stepfather and a mother. I was loved. And I tell you, my father taught me how to make a dollar out of 15 cents. He can
that's
he can reach in his pocket and feel whose face is on the bills. But he taught me, about world currency, about bullion, about, different things and being frugal. Now, my mother, on the other hand, made money seem like it grew on trees. Oh, we wouldn't go buy one pair of shoes, we go buy three. And when I turned 16, she went out. Well, what do you want? A party or a car? I said, I want a car. I wasn't gonna test her. Girl went out and bought me a car. So all these things, I was very, very fortunate. But I always looked at money as a vehicle of exchange. I looked at how the Chinese created the paper dollar as a form of a receipt. I learned in 1776 and 1976 how it changed the world currency to where we are no longer a gold-backed based system.
Right.
That there's nothing holding up this three-legged stool but a wish and a dream and a conversation. Mm-hmm. And so I say that to say this to people right now. It's never too late to take a little bit and try to turn it around. Everybody's worried about AI. Don't worry about AI. Invest in AI.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Invest in digital real estate. Listen to what's going on in the world currency. Do what other successful people have done. You don't have to rewrite the template.
Nope.
And money, yeah, it's a thing. I'm glad you were able to travel the world. There's only about 40% of Americans that even have a passport.
And that's one thing that really bogs my mind. It's like you go to other countries, they have to have passports because they hop all the time from country to country. And yet here in the United States, people go, why would I want a passport? It's such a safe form of owning that you should own, and you should want one. I have had a passport since I was 30 years old.
Until I always confiscated.
I'm sorry, what?
Mine was confiscated about a month in May.
Oh, no.
Yes, wait a minute. I'm traveling. I'm getting ready to get on a cruise ship. They take my passport. I'm thinking they're just going to photocopy the documents. I said, oh, honey, can you give me my passport? She said, oh, no, we're retaining it. I said, retaining it? She says, yes, until you get to Ireland. I said, that's going to be 14 days. I'm getting off in other countries. Well, the Irish government has to come on, look at your documents. If you are not from the UK or the EU, they confiscated your passports. Canadians, Africans, Japanese, wow, Chinese, Indonesians, it didn't matter. So the world now is very different. And then when you travel, you don't know how you're going to be received or perceived. They don't know what your mindset is. They don't know what kind of trickery or evilness that you're going to bring in and be subjected to. So the world is very different. And so what we need to do is be kinder and gentler. When I go somewhere, girl, I put on my happy face. The last thing I pack is my American.
I agree with you 100%. And that's one of the things that I have always found, that if you will smile and you will be kind to people, in most cases, there's always going to be, but in most cases, they're going to be the same back to you and you're going to be just fine. But you do have to be careful. You do have
to be careful. And you have to be careful here. We have to be loving and more respectful to one another. What would you tell a young 20, not even 20, maybe 30, 35-year-old woman that's looking to pivot and to maybe become an entrepreneur? How would you encourage her? What would you say?
I would tell her first to call me.
Right.
I'll give you my phone number. No, I would tell her that to dream big, but to learn as much as you can about what you want. And by doing that, the first thing you try may not be what it is. So it's okay to fail. I think that's probably what I would tell somebody. It is okay to fail, because as long as you're failing, you're learning, and you can get up and you can do it over again. I have done, oh my gosh, I've done so many different businesses in my lifetime. And and the reason I have is because when I was with our family business, we couldn't work for 3 months out of the year in the wintertime because people didn't want us to come into their home. I sold siding and windows, and they didn't want us in the wintertime. And so everybody at the office would play cribbage or do what. I'd go find something else to do. So I did all these Tupperware and, Michi bags. I did all these different things. And I was good at some, but I wasn't so good at others. But that's okay, because I learned so much from each and every one of them that made me just a little bit better the next time I did it. So don't be afraid to fail. because as long as you're out there and you're being true to yourself, you will make it. And I think everyone, and you said this a little while ago, I think everybody should have a side gig. If you're working a full-time job, become an entrepreneur.
Right.
And find somebody, again, you said this, find somebody that is doing it right and follow them, talk to them. There are very, very few people that are not willing to help you, successful people. They want to help others. They want to talk at each other.
It puffs them up.
Absolutely. It makes them feel fantastic. So find the person that you want to follow and talk to them. Don't be afraid to talk to others. And again, fail time after time until you get it right.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I went and wrote a list. I'm 63. Do you know I've had 33 jobs?
Holy macanoli.
33 jobs since I started working. Well, I had my own business since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
But
you are an entrepreneur.
Oh, baby, I could close a deal. I'm telling you, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. Yes, ma'am. But I always sold to value. But I looked at it, and I don't have a college degree.
Me neither.
You know what? I have a ghetto PhD because I have learned to network the right way. I have learned to go in and have informational interviews with people. I'm very keen. I watch. I don't talk a lot. Yes, I run a podcast. I'm a very effective listener. I'm a good orator. When I sell you something, I'm selling to value. I'm listening to what you need, and I'm coloring in the white space. I let you do the talking. You're going to tell me exactly what you need, just like teenagers. You want to go in there and dictate and tell them, well, when I walked in the snow and I didn't have a car, didn't have a cell phone, they don't care about that. Just be quiet and they will tell you. And if they won't talk to you, they'll text you. they'll tell you. And also, women, baby, you got to have your own. God blesses the child that's got his own.
Yes.
I love Mr. Magnificent. I tell him to his face, yes, I got my own money. Because if the shit go awry, what am I going to do? Sit there and look stupid?
Yep.
Then I'm beholden to you. Then I can't divorce you. I can't move on with my life. The kids don't have anything to, eat. They've got to go to this. You got to go to that. If you are working, tuck you a little money away. There's nothing wrong with it.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with
Women get divorced and they have no idea where the bodies are buried. He's got a house with his girlfriend in Costa Rica somewhere, a boat, this, that, and the other, and you have no idea what is going on. Everybody has to take care of themselves. Would you agree, Jyl?
I agree with you 100%. In fact, I have to say that is probably one of the biggest problems I had in being married. I've been married 3 times.
Oh, well, good. So then don't look at me for having 33 jobs.
Yeah.
I think it's cute. Some people can't get a date and you found 3 husbands. Go ahead.
Really? No. But the problem that I had with my husbands is they were afraid of my success. Mm-hmm. And my last husband actually said, you know what, Jyl, you are Jyl Purington, by State Siding and Windows 100% of the time. And I said, okay, what's wrong with that? I didn't see anything wrong with that. And I wasn't, because that's ridiculous. But who was paying the bills? I was. So that's why I was that. Mm-hmm. So you're right. You have to take care of yourself. Don't rely on a man to give you what you want out of life. It's nice to have a partnership, but make sure you take care of yourself too.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, cultures and a lot of people, oh, honey, you have to marry up. You have to marry up. Well, yes, he does drink a little too much and maybe he's hit you 1 or 2 times, but you've got this beautiful house and, you drive a beautiful car and it's okay. You're not the only one that's been through that. No. You don't have to put up with that.
No woman
put up with that. No. And men too. I've got a little friend here that she's a real pistol. She'll put her hands on her husband in a heartbeat. And I had to pull it to the side. Oh, yes. But she doesn't think that he'll retaliate. And I said, people get tired of that. I said, and then if he gives you the 1-2, then you are going to try to say that he's abused you all this time when I'm a witness for him knowing the things that you've done to him. I
Well,
said,
and
so what you have to, yeah, you have to be careful.
there's no respect in a marriage like
No
that.
respect.
There's just no respect, and you have to have respect in a marriage, all
Yeah,
without a doubt. In any partnership, just like in building a team, in running a business, respect, trust has got to be, it's got to be a priority. Absolutely.
that's great. So let me ask you some fun questions because we've done the deep dive. This is my favorite. I always say my favorite part of
I want
these
everybody to know here,
these.
I have no idea about what's going to happen right now.
Okay, drum roll, please. If you were a flower in that beautiful garden, what flower would you be and why?
I'd be a dahlia
Ooh.
because dahlias are, in fact, it's so funny you should ask that question. I have lived by the idea that I don't do dirt. I don't like dirt,
Mm.
but because my mom can no longer really get out very much, I had to take over the flower garden. And all of a sudden, I found out I love dahlias. They're absolutely gorgeous. There's so many different shapes and sizes and colors. And they're so beautiful. So I would definitely be, and they're strong. I would be a dahlia.
You are in your 70s now, and your skin is absolutely glowing. Your eyes are bright. You got on some funky eyewear. What is it that keeps you looking vivacious and, just outside of working out? Is it your diet? Is it the people that you hang around? Even if it's online, what is it that keeps you feeling your best?
I'm going to be very honest about that. It's the products that I use from the company that I represent. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say what that
Well,
is.
go. Well, no, you done talked it up to the moon. You might as well give it a plug.
Fantastic. I'm more than happy to. I am a marketing executive for Melaleuca. We have so many wonderful products. Our vitamins are beyond. We have protein shakes. We have over 450 products. We have skincare, hair care. We've got it all. So when I started with Melaleuca, I had a little bit of high blood pressure, not very much. I had a little bit of cholesterol problems, not much. I wasn't taking good vitamins because I didn't know what good vitamins were. Since I've been on our products, my hair has turned completely white. And because of our shampoos, I'm able to keep it white. That was during COVID. But I no longer take any prescriptions whatsoever. I'm 72 years old, and the only things I take in the morning are the vitamins and supplements that I use from Melaleuca.
Wow. Well, again, and I say this as a quick disclaimer that if you are under a medical care, you're taking medications by the doctor, continue with that course of treatment. We're not
Absolutely.
medical doctors, but we want to provide you with options and choices because you can't turn back the hands of time. I'm taking a new collagen product, and my hair was getting thin. I had a monster afro, and then it shrunk down just to a fro. Next is gonna be the O. And so I was like, no. And I looked at my nails and I said, you know what? There are things that we lose. We lose the elasticity in our skin.
You.
Uh, you know, Sometimes when people eliminate, you need to clear the house because you're rotting inside.
Yes.
Our eyes are going to go bad. Heaven forbid you have diabetes or cholesterol or, cancer, any of these other things that you are taking heavy duty medication because again, big pharma is big pharma. There's no money in well people,
Nope.
you know?
Don't
And so,
like me.
yeah. And so what we have to do is we have to do the very best that we can. So contact Jyl and see, what it is that she has that she can offer. Talk to your doctor. See if this is in contrast or in complement to what you're doing. And you know what I heard? I heard really, I know this is kind of might be controversial, but I heard the best thing you can get is a Chinese medicine doctor or a doctor from India. And
I've
the
heard.
yeah, and I went to China. My driver told me that my destiny was to go see the doctor. I said, I came here to see the Great Wall. I didn't come here to see no doctor. He took me to this clinic. This clinic was tricked out. Big koi fish, this big pharmacy, this, that, and the other. I go up. The doctor checks my liver, my kidney, and my spleen right here. He looks in my eyes and checks the ridges of my tongue and the color of my tongue. He told me about my past life, my present life, and my future life. And everything that Joker said has come true.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Minimally invasive. He didn't have to poke and prob and get no blood, and I didn't have to take this and take that. But what did happen was he gave me a prescription to go and get some herbs. And I go down and I get the herbs. I come home. I make me two big mugs. You know us greedy Americans. I'm gonna double size mine. I'm gonna turn back. I'm not gonna take 10 years. I'm gonna take 20 years. My
No.
husband came home, Jill. I was high as a kite. I was loopy. I was sitting there. I didn't know my head from my tail. Well, I had overdosed. I didn't microdose, I overdosed. And so, again, I say that, Brains, that you have to be careful even with alternative natural medicines because they are plant based or animal based. And you have to look at this ancient wisdom and these ancient remedies because they can, spin you on your head. So you want to be careful and make sure that what you are doing is in alignment with your highest and greatest good. Now back to my questions. Yeah,
Yes.
it was something else.
Yeah.
So if you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be?
That's a good question. I think I'd be, what are those things called that you take it and you put it in a, um, oh, good heavens, I can't even think of the name of it. I didn't know it was going to be that. It's crazy. I think it'd be a toaster. I just changed my
You're gonna be a toaster? Okay. A toaster oven or just a pop-up toaster?
pop-up toaster. Actually, we have a really fancy toaster. You
Oh,
have when you put the bread in it, you have to turn it on, right? But you have to click the what you're going to cook. You can do toast, waffles, bagels, and like three or four other things. Then you have to the darkness, and then it just takes over and just makes it nice and warm and
wow.
just everything you want. So that'd be a nice appliance to be.
I've decided that I want to be the trash can. And why do I want to be the trash can? Because I want to be the place where you deposit what no longer serves you.
Oh, that's a good one.
I want to be the place where you can recycle. I want to be the place that you take out often and regularly.
Wow,
You
that's
know?
really a great
So
answer.
that's just kind of what it is. People
I'm going to use that.
like she wanted to be a snake. I want to be a trash can. I tell you, you never know about people. I
That's
see
it.
that beautiful award that you have there on that banister. Tell us a little bit about that behind you.
That award was one of the awards I received at what we call Quest. And when you develop growth in your business, you receive an award for it. And that is one of the awards I received for growth in my business. And I have a few others of those hanging around here, but that one just happens to be sitting right there.
Okay, what is it? What is a reward that because man gives the award, God gives the reward?
Yes.
What is one of the awards that you've given one of your downline participants?
I think probably the funnest award that I ever gave somebody is the lady that I was talking about that has grown and done so well in her business, absolutely fantastic. When she hit 5 years with me in business, I had been in Greece, and I know that her and her family love to play chess. So
Mm,
I had a very special chess set made while I was in Greece, and I brought that home to her as a very special gift for 5 years in business.
that is beautiful. And brains again, paying it forward, making somebody else feel good about themselves is what we need to do instead of tearing people down, saying ugly things, assuming you got a right to your opinion and you should be
Absolutely,
able to say it, but you should be respectful. And
very much.
it's like okra. Jill, if I come to your house, don't you make no okra?
No, you don't have to worry about that. I've never had okra in my life.
But if you come to my house, I can make the best corn, okra, and tomatoes. My mother would eat that. You were talking about what moms wouldn't eat. My mother would eat that, and she say, "Baby, this tastes so good." I said, "Mommy, you don't have no taste and smell." She said, "But what I do have is the love that you put in it." And so
That's
I can see that there's a lot of love in everything that you do. Please tell my brains how to get in contact with you. I'd love for them to learn more about Melaleuca, team building, just a great conversation, mentorship. How do they get in contact with you?
the best way to get a hold of me. I do Facebook. I am on Facebook, and it's just Justjyl. I'm just not a regular girl. I learned to spell the way I want to have my name spelled. I changed the spelling of it. So it's just Jyl Purington on Facebook to do it.
Okay, and we're going to put all that information on the back on how to contact her. Well, and you know what? I'm going to ask you one more question.
Sure.
About dating. Now, mama's resting, and I know that you can't get out much, and you have had 3 husbands before. Do you still find yourself in your 70s vivacious and sexy and attractive to maybe want a suitor?
I would say yes to that answer. I don't have the opportunity to do it because of my current situation. It's very difficult because I'm here with my mom. But it doesn't mean I don't enjoy men, and it doesn't mean I wouldn't be interested in doing that. It just means right now in my season of my life, I'm doing what I needed to do. God said, this is where you need to be, and this is where I am. So,
yeah, and see, I just wanted to put that in there because they think that we're dead. Jyl,
we're not dead.
No, when you get older, that you don't want anything. I went to a wedding. They were 85 years old, him and her, and they met during COVID because
Oh my God.
she would sneak over into his room. Yeah, they said if they died, they die happy and they die together.
Well, that's great.
So it's never over until it's over. But
That's
this
true.
interview was over and it was so full of love. Thank you so much, Jyl, for being here
Thank
with me
you.
on the edge. Brains, look for a side hustle, a legitimate side hustle that you know, like, and trust, that passes your sniff test. Save your money. Learn to let money work for you and you not work for money. Be kind, be caring, and go get yourself a toaster and a trash can.
There you go.
Love, like, share, subscribe here on The Edge, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Thank you, Jyl. Come back and see me again. Go give Mama Coco a big old hug for me, okay?
Thanks so much.
All right. Bye, Brains. Have a good day.